So, you like what we do here on the channel and you are blessed with some extra change, and you want to use it helping people save valuable time. Well, if that's the case, I've got some perks for you. Now, these perks are the same across YouTube, Ko-fi, and Patreon memberships. Ko-fi takes the smallest cut, but if it's more convenient for you to use YouTube or Patreon, then that's completely fine too. So let's start with the free membership perks. Patreon recently included a free membership tier, which allows you to follow creators around completely free, which is kind of cool because I've been trying to find some ways to give the free tier a bigger purpose without taking away from what I've reserved for the paid tiers. I've realized that the free membership tier on Patreon is actually a great way to just keep you guys up to date with the latest content that I've been up to. Something big that's changed in YouTube is a lot of members no longer really get notified when I upload new videos. But if you're a free member on Patreon, then you can see when I upload new stuff. I also have an area on Discord called New Releases, so if you're more active on Discord and you ever want to see what the latest video I uploaded was, you can always find it there for free. Now, I don't tag or at anyone in that Discord channel because I want to avoid sending you guys unwanted pings, so the only time you will ever see what's in this Discord is if you check for it yourself. Now, above that, there are 4 tiers, and I like to keep things simple. Each tier has a corresponding room on Discord, which you'll get access to after you join, and your tier will get notified when I post updates on each Discord. But basically on the Bishop tier, you guys get real-time updates, so you guys know what I'm doing in between each video, and usually these will be screenshots or things that I'm researching, or even videos that I've finished but have not published yet. Now, tier 1 also has access to the reports that I create at the end of each month that document everything we've accomplished and plans for what we're going to do next month. So in this tier, you will always have a good idea of what's happening before everyone else on YouTube. Now, the king tier is the coffee tier. Coffee around my area is about $5, and it takes 1 coffee for me to make 1 video. I am literally a machine that takes in coffee and outputs YouTube tutorials. So if you are on this tier, or even just did a one-time donation on coffee, I just want you to know that you are single-handedly responsible for the creation of an entire tutorial. So remember, 1 drink equals 1 video for the people. In addition to all that, kings can request copies of blueprint files that I create in each tutorial, though this mainly applies to blueprints that were created after or within the month that you joined, because I make a lot of stuff, and if you ask me for a file that I made 2 years ago, there's a good chance that I might not have it anymore. Now, when we get to the sovereign tier, you are basically part of the backbone of this channel. 20 a month is pretty crazy, so if you're on this tier, you get all the previous perks, and you get priority messaging. I get a lot of messages from a lot of different people all the time, but when I see messages from Sovereign members, I do my best to react to those first. Also, if you're on this tier, you get access to the Sovereign Secrets room, which is basically where I do a lot of the R&D for the channel. This is a room where I invite people who know more than me to teach me things that I don't know how to do yet that I want to teach you guys. Many tutorials started out as things that I learned how to do in this room. So if you'd like to see me struggle to learn new things for future videos, this is where you would go to see that. And finally, on the founder tier, you are basically single-handedly keeping us insulated against the unpredictability of the YouTube algorithm. These guys are the reason that I can continue to explore and experiment with new tech, software and techniques and skills without necessarily worrying about how many views I get each video. They really are the foundation of the channel that allows us to grow securely. So founders essentially have access to all of my best assets, which can usually only be found on my shop. And as a game dev, I make a lot of different models, textures, materials, rigs, animations, VFX, particles, codes, and blueprints, and I put the ones that I'm most proud of on my shop. Now, everything on my shop is stuff that I've shown you guys how to make. Often these are assets that I created in the tutorials that I use to teach you guys. But the shop option is primarily for people who don't have the time to follow the tutorials and put everything together themselves, and just want to be able to buy the quick solution. But if you are a founder, you don't even have to buy it. You could just ask me for it, and I'll give it to you with the full commercial license blessing to use it in any monetized project you want. The way I see it is if you're supporting me on this level, you basically funded the R&D for the creation of everything we do here. So these are the perks that I've created for those of you who were brave enough to go above and beyond the call to like and subscribe each video. Again, I take this stuff very seriously, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to make these perks fun and useful for you guys while also being doable for me. And there really are no words to describe just how much of a difference you guys have made for me. I'm not exaggerating when I say if it wasn't for those of you who joined during the Blender days, I would have never been able to keep doing this stuff and grow the channel this far. And a lot of times, a 60-second video will often take me days or weeks of practice and research beforehand. And I hope you guys can take pride knowing that each view on a video is hours saved from someone struggling to learn this stuff on their own. And in a world where people struggle to see the difference they're making in other people's lives, I hope you can see these numbers and know that you are a part of the reason that video exists, and that the effects of the time saved in that video extend long after the viewer finishes the tutorial. So thank you for being here. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the squad. Welcome aboard. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you around.